we've got stats in the top left in StarCraft 1. We've got herO in the top right, StarCraft 2.
Yep, so they'll be doing this and then switching the next map for their different ones. So Stats will play Brood War, and herO will be playing Brood War, Stats will be playing SC2.
No matter what, we get one on each side.
About.
No, I know. This
is the most confusing
thing ever. There's like an
ever.
extra network in my brain that I'm still trying to grow to get over who's playing on what team with which StarCraft and all that. So both sides going for gateways touching the entrance.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's got to be just habit out of Stats.
I
he
feel
definitely
like
was
that's
just like,
memory.
oh, wait, crap, I shouldn't have done that. It's not really going to matter that much, but it's still, it's just kind of funny to note. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get some sort of proxy. I mean, this is a forward-player map, so it'll be a little bit more difficult to throw out some proxy stuff, but I think it's I mean, we've seen the oracles on this map already, so it's definitely a possibility, but in PvP, it could still be a little bit more challenging because you really need to have the units still somewhat close to the other base to actually have the attack be worthwhile. So we'll see what ends up happening. Stats going to be going for this expansion here. We'll be getting that actually quite early, surprisingly.
Yeah, so, the StarCraft 2 builds, obviously, even if they look funny, they're still a little bit familiar because it's the same number of starting workers. But the StarCraft 1 builds in SC Evo, they do seem to be a little bit, no matter how you cut it, funny looking because you just get more workers in the SC Evo build. So I guess this just makes sense. We saw, I think this was actually in a PVT, we saw the same build earlier, where they went for a Zealot, Cybernetics Core, Nexus, then Dragoon. And in this case, a second gateway out here.
Yeah, I'm just curious how this actually defends certain things, because I mean, if this is like if this was like a proxy robo or something, like you generally just can't defend an expansion this early while going for just one gate as a StarCraft 2 Protoss versus a proxy robo. It's very, very difficult unless you're going for some super ultra max packs refined one gate expand on a high ground ramp map or something, but that's not the case here. So herO is going to be going for just something a little bit more standard, getting a couple of stalkers out. Could still go for like a 3-gate robo off of a non-proxied robo. It looks like he might actually go for that as he's starting to put a forward pylon here. So this could still ramp up pretty quickly.
So, he could make a robo with Immortals and try to gun down the Dragoons. I would imagine the Immortals are probably going to be pretty good versus that. But it's going to be a proxied gateway. So maybe interesting. So maybe he just wants to try to kind of burst through here with quick warp-ins off of 3 gates. I mean, I guess it's not really fancy, but it doesn't need to be. Who cares? A win is a win, right?
Yeah, there's no shield batteries to defend either, which is going to be a bit more difficult for Stats here. So as long as he doesn't lose some of these early units, because, again, the Dragoons actually do insane damage this early. So if he doesn't get a little too risky with these early trades, then eventually he will just have a massive flood of units that should be able to just break on through because there's really no batteries to help shield up these Dragoons once they get so weakened. And I mean, here, again, you can see just how much damage some of these Dragoons do once they actually connect onto these Stalkers.
StarCraft 2 Stalkers are, I think, just one stat faster than Dragoons are. So you can kind of chase them down. Dragoon range is done, by the way, so Dragoons are going to have a lot more reach with their shots, so they can actually be kited a little bit better, and I think that range is a little bit better than Stalkers. Hold up! He's coming in! He fires down on one Dragoon. The probes are going to be pulled, but I think there's too many Stalkers. It's starting to feel a little bit like the game's beginning to snowball, and on top of that, Blink is just starting now here for herO.
Yeah, this is looking really good for him. Like I was saying, there's no batteries that you can fall back to. Yeah, the range of Dragoons is pretty sick, but if you're already down on the Dragoon count when the Stalkers are already up in your face, that's not actually going to come into play here. It's going to make it nice here to be able to kite back, but there's just so many Stalkers, and there's a lot of probes that are being killed off here as well, that it's going to make it really hard for Stats to actually keep his economy up to be able to produce enough to defend.
Okay, more Stalkers continuing to warp in. It's almost no probes mining right now. These probes are going to get in the way. The Stalkers are going to slip right through. They're going to take out 1 and then 2 Dragoons. Does he? Okay, he decides to back up. Now, 14 workers have been killed here, making the worker count even. Remember that Red right now does not have a second base. The Stalkers are coming up. Again, more Dragoons are beginning to filter out right now. Great control here. It's 4 Dragoons at a time. He's going to try to move up the ramp. Dude, there's 1 pylon.
Artosis, we are beckoning.
Yes.
Please join us. Oh, no, it's not going to happen. Forced down the ramp, unfortunately. But, I mean, this is still looking really great for herO. He's going to have Blink coming up here as well, so if the micro ability wasn't already there with the extra mobility, it's definitely going to be now. And, I mean, stats, all things considered, was doing pretty good to defend this up until now, but with this Blink finish, he's getting right up into the face of these Dragoons. Yet again, that extra range not coming into play anymore. 6 around with those pros, but that's not going to be enough. herO taking the first map of this best-of-3 ace match.
That was sick.